In the annals of history, few narratives resonate as deeply as those of remarkable comebacks that defy the odds. Consider this. In 1415, a small band of English soldiers, vastly outnumbered, confronted the might of the French army at Agincourt, emerging victorious against all expectations. What happened next shocked the world and set the stage for countless tales of human resilience. Throughout history, the human spirit has displayed an unparalleled ability to recover from adversity, demonstrating a relentless pursuit of hope where despair once reigned. This is the story of the greatest comebacks in human history, a tale woven through time, showcasing the power of perseverance and grit in the face of the impossible. To understand the true nature of these rebirths, we must delve into the origin stories of remarkable individuals and groups who faced insurmountable challenges. Take, for instance, the tale of Thomas Edison, the brilliant inventor whose early failures are often overshadowed by his monumental successes. Born on February 11, 1847, in Milan, Ohio, Edison encountered difficulties from an early age. His mother, a former schoolteacher, took it upon herself to educate him at home after he struggled in the traditional school system. His first foray into the world of work was not a success. He lost his first job as a newsboy due to his inability to manage the pressure. But nobody knew that he would go on to change the world with over 1,000 patents to his name. Edison's rise was characterized by his relentless experimentation, but it was not without its struggles. After starting his own laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey, he faced failure after failure. His electric light bulb prototype was rejected multiple times. Yet, each setback only fueled his fire for innovation. In 1879, after over 1,000 unsuccessful attempts, Edison finally found the right filament material for the incandescent bulb. This achievement marked a dramatic peak in his journey, one that would illuminate the lives of millions. Yet, the pivotal moment in Edison's saga came when he competed against George Westinghouse in the War of Currents. This rivalry, known as the War of Currents, threatened to undermine his entire career. But rather than capitulate to despair, Edison reinvented himself, starting anew. He leveraged the public's fear of alternating current, creating a campaign that would secure his legacy. His victory in this battle wasn't just a personal triumph. It represented the dawn of electric power as a preeminent force in human civilization. Edison's legacy lived on through his inventions and the sweeping changes they ushered into modern life. Electric light revolutionized cities, changing how people lived and worked. His story matters today as it serves as a beacon of hope and an inspiration for innovators and entrepreneurs around the globe, demonstrating that failure is oftentimes just a stepping stone to greatness. Beyond the walls of the workshop, another epic comeback unfolded during World War II with the Allied forces. The Axis powers were advancing, seemingly unstoppable, as they had secured significant territories across Europe and Asia. But what many don't know is that the tides were about to turn in the most extraordinary way. The year was 1941, and with the attack on Pearl Harbor, the United States entered the fray, unleashing the full potential of its industrial might. From factories to battlegrounds, Americans rallied to the cause, echoing the resolve that defined the nation. Yet, the struggle was far from over. For every victory, there were crushing defeats. The Allies faced discouragement at the Battle of Stalingrad, a harrowing conflict that pushed Soviet troops to the brink. But what happened next was unprecedented. Out of sheer will and an unyielding belief in victory, Soviet forces launched a counteroffensive, dealing a staggering blow to the Nazis and marking the turning point of the war. The peak achievement of the Allied comeback culminated on June 6, 1944, with D-Day, the massive invasion of Normandy. This pivotal moment epitomized the resolve of nations uniting against tyranny. It was a feat of human tenacity, and one that altered the course of history forever, signaling an end to the darkest chapter of the war. The legacy of the greatest comebacks during the war illustrates not just military victories, but a profound change in global consciousness about unity, cooperation, and the strength found in diversity. The lessons learned during these turbulent times are as relevant today, reminding us of the power of collective action against adversity in any form. The stories from this era resonate beyond their time, showcasing resilience as an indelible human trait. As we reflect on the greatest comebacks, we find that the strength of the human spirit is a universal truth that binds us all. In moments of darkness and despair, history has shown that people can and do rise again. These narratives of resilience resonate profoundly today, amid our ongoing global challenges, inspiring hope and reminding us that in facing adversity, we may find our greatest strength. Let us never forget that the essence of a comeback is not merely the triumph itself, but the journey of overcoming, the collective strength born from struggle, and the lasting legacy that follows. Comebacks remind us why we strive, why we fight, and why, when faced with the trials of our own lives, we too can dare to rise again. When the darkness encroaches, let our comeback story illuminate the path ahead. It's a testament that history is not just written by the victors, but by those who refuse to be defeated. And as we navigate the challenges of our age, these stories serve as powerful reminders that our best days may still lie ahead, waiting for us to rise to meet them, just as those who walked before us once did. But, as we delve deeper into the fabric of these remarkable comebacks, we must also confront the shadowy aspects of history that accompanied them. The resilience of individuals and nations has often blossomed amidst chaos, yet this chaos itself can be antithetical to the very strength we celebrate. The tale of Nelson Mandela, for instance, whose life encapsulates the spirit of struggle and redemption, illustrates this beautifully. Born on July 18, 1918, in the village of Mvezo, South Africa, Mandela's path to prominence was riddled with both hardship and heartache. As a young man, he witnessed the systemic injustices inflicted upon his people under the oppressive regime of apartheid. But nobody knew that his early experiences would ignite a flame of resistance that would engulf a nation. Mandela embraced education, earning a degree at the University of Fort Hare that would enable him to navigate the treacherous waters of politics. It was here that he began to understand that his fight was not just for self, but for the very soul of his country. Mandela's rise began in earnest when he joined the African National Congress in 1944. He quickly emerged as a leader and a strategist, advocating for peaceful protests against the apartheid government. Yet, the struggle proved daunting. Following the Sharpeville massacre in 1960, where police killed 69 unarmed protesters, Mandela and his compatriots realized that their peaceful methods would yield little change. Thus began his journey towards armed resistance. But in 1962, he was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment, serving 27 long years in a small cell on Robben Island. As Mandela languished behind bars, the world started to take notice. The struggle against apartheid rapidly became a global movement. Yet, in the cold confines of his prison cell, a quiet revolution was brewing within him. The dramatic turning point came when the dialogues of peace began to occur in the late 1980s. Pressure was mounting both domestically and internationally, leading to divisive debates around his imprisonment. This highlighted an evolving global consciousness that began to see Mandela not as a criminal, but as a symbol of justice. What happened next shocked the world. In 1990, after decades of struggle, Mandela was released from prison. His first steps into freedom on February 11th marked not only a personal triumph, but a significant resurgence for millions of South Africans who had lost hope. Media outlets broadcast images of Mandela, clad in a black suit, flashing that iconic smile that would become synonymous with resilience and hope. Mandela's peak achievement materialized just 4 years later in 1994 when he was elected as South Africa's first black president. He sought to heal his divided nation, promoting reconciliation over revenge. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission, established under his guidance, aimed to address past injustices and build bridges between oppressors and victims. This legacy of forgiveness shone brightly, offering lessons on the power of humility in the face of animosity. It emphasized the idea that true strength lies not simply in the act of rising above, but in the willingness to extend understanding to those who wronged us. Years later, as he stepped down from the presidency, Mandela's impact reverberated not just in South Africa, but across the globe. His story continues to resonate today, as advocates for justice cite him as an inspiration in their struggles against inequality. The indomitable spirit of Mandela reminds us that faith, love, and reconciliation can emerge from the darkest of times. His life story is now woven into the rich fabric of history, standing as a beacon for new generations seeking to confront their own battles against tyranny and injustice. Shifting our gaze from individuals to the collective narratives of nations brings us to the story of Japan after World War II. In 1945, the country found itself in ruins, having faced overwhelming devastation from atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The depths of despair seemed unfathomable, but nobody knew that the resilience hidden beneath the rubble would spark a transformation that would astonish the world. In the post-war era, Japan faced an uphill battle of rebuilding its economy, infrastructure, and national identity. It was a country segmented by defeat, where the shadow of militarism loomed large. Yet, in what seemed a monumental task, Japan embraced a path of pacifism and economic reform.